All right. How is everybody doing today? Welcome back to another episode of The Banker Next Door. I am your host, Dr. Joe Berquist. Today I've got an old friend of the channel, Alex Blom from Alex Blumstrom, I should say, from Alex Blum Creates, is back to talk with us. I thought she was the perfect person to talk to. She is my Gen Z hookup, if you will. I will bring Alex in here. How are we doing today, Alex?
I'm doing well, Joe. Thank you so much for having me back on.
So, with all of the craziness around TikTok, and we'll also talk a little bit about AI. But with all the craziness around TikTok, I thought that you were the absolute perfect person to bring in to talk about this for a number of reasons. Number one, you're not just on TikTok; you are a content creator. You run your own business, so you are promoting the business through TikTok. So depending on TikTok in a very real way to help you generate the sales for your business, but then also you are part of the Gen Z demographic. So you're trying to get that. I always love to get that Gen Z perspective on things and how you're seeing stuff out there. So with all that being said, like, how are you? I guess we'll start with, how are you feeling overall about the whole TikTok situation at the moment?
So, back when the ban had been looming, I'm not going to lie, I was pretty devastated. Just considering the thought of losing so much of my community or the access to my community in such a quick time without any real way to recover it was really daunting. I currently have over 100,000 followers on TikTok. Across other platforms such as Instagram, I have 34,000 followers, and I love my Instagram community, but that is a striking difference
Oh,
between
yes.
34,000 and 100,000. And honestly, when it did get banned for those 14 hours, the best way I could just describe it was it felt like I was on a phone call with all of those people, and the phone call got cut off and I didn't know who saved my number. Like, I was sitting
Mhm.
there during those hours thinking, okay, who's going to sit around in these next couple of months and recall my business and recall, oh, that sweatshirt I bought on TikTok last year for so and so. She had cute summer shirts. I wonder where I can
Yep.
find her. What was that business name again? And things like that just kept running through my brain. Like, how are these people going to find me again? Because the nature of TikTok is so, I would say, beautifully organic, in the sense that you feel like it is feeding you as a consumer exactly what you're needing and exactly what you're looking for. And I was trying to figure out, like, how am I going to bridge this gap? Because in my opinion, and many of the other small businesses that I am friends with in my community, there really isn't a comparable platform to TikTok when it comes to organic content and sponsored content as well, but mainly speaking, organic content.
Yeah, and you make a great point there, Alex, and one that I also wanted to make. So let's just talk about platforms and size, like size of platforms for a second. So you think of like the big ones out there, and we'll say, Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, I don't, Snapchat,
Pinterest.
maybe not,
Yeah.
um, but where would you rank TikTok in terms of the other platforms? Do you think it's bigger than, kind of up there on par with maybe like Facebook and X? What's your kind of take on that?
For my demographic, I would say that Facebook is significantly bigger than Instagram, and Facebook, just with the way that their algorithms are. I had seen someone post a video showing them scrolling on their Instagram feed, and it was
Hmm.
sponsored post after sponsored post of things they weren't interested in. Then it would be a post from a celebrity, and the posts aren't in chronological order, they're kind of all over the place. So even if you are following along with a creator on Instagram, you sort of have to take it upon yourself to go check in with that person. And as from the creator side, you really have to figure out what you can do and how to polish yourself on those other platforms to get your content favored, because authentic organic content is pushed and favored so well, so highly on TikTok compared to other
Hmm.
platforms. And I think that's why it does so well for so many American people, because it just completely levels the playing field, whether you are a small business owner, an affiliate creator that's working with like another bigger brand. I've done that myself on the personal side of things where I've worked, like showcased other people's products just because I'm passionate about making videos and content and I really enjoy it. Um, and all of the sudden, there's not some big barrier to entry that you're facing in order to get your video to reach 2 million people. Like you're not paying all
Yeah.
this money. I'm not saying every video goes viral by any means. I've only ever had a
Yeah.
couple videos go viral, but you aren't paying any upfront cost. Like it's free to me every day to log onto that app and be my authentic self, and push out as many videos as I want and know that, okay, the people that are going to like this like it because it's authentic and it's me. And I think that's another like it's just a domino effect of TikTok, and that's why the communities are so tight knit because everyone's
Yeah.
ashamedly themselves on there. So all of a sudden you have all of these little niches of the internet, of happy little corners of the internet or whatever it is that your content is focused on, and everyone who's there is like fully in it. Versus
Yeah, no, and so I think the point I want to drive home for the audience, and if I can frame it like this, is that so I'm a YouTube content creator, but I think the thing that people miss about YouTube is that, people talk about the algorithm all the time, and you were just referencing the kind of the algorithm of TikTok. What people don't understand is that YouTube does not have one algorithm. They have like six, and they analyze all different aspects, especially if you're putting a video up. So they look at they analyze the transcript, they analyze the audio, the video, the thumbnail, your header, the title of your video. They have algorithms for every one of those different aspects of it. And so as a result, and they also have YouTube Premium, which is a subscription which you have to pay for if you want to, again, try to just get the most out of the platform that you can. So it's free to use it, but again, if you're a content creator, you pretty much have to pay for premium to get that. So you have a fee, and you have all these different algorithms. So as a result of that, it can be very difficult to get out there to a mass audience. It can be very difficult to get eyeballs from all the different people. Whereas the TikTok platform is, probably a simpler platform with just a straight algorithm, but they are promoting, to your point, they're promoting that original content. If you have that fresh original content, that's what the algorithm is just pushing out there. And it's not easy. It's not hard to kind of get yourself out there on that platform. And like you said, it's free too. Like you're not paying to be on there.
Mhm.
And the point being is, like, you can't easily replicate that. Like, you have 100,000 plus followers on there, and it's not like you're going to be able to just jump on another platform and get that 100,000 plus followers back. So I think that's the point for people who don't really understand those dynamics about social media or how that works. I think that is critical to understand that, in understanding this conversation about how a lot of this stuff works, particularly when you're a business owner and you're trying to, operate your business or market your business through these different social media platforms. It makes a ginormous difference at the end of the day. So, I'm with you. So I think you are probably hoping as much as I am that they do find an answer to this TikTok situation. Hopefully we can get a US buyer to basically buy the US version and own and operate the US version of TikTok, so that this problem will hopefully put itself to bed and will take care of itself.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And it goes beyond business when you break it down to communities as well. With
Mm.
to your point of um publishing videos and trying to figure out who the algorithm is going to target and send your video off to. I had posted a video a couple months ago when the BOI report was coming up, the deadline to submit that. And I said, I said, this is a PSA to small business owners. I haven't seen any small business owners post about this. If you're watching this, send it to a small business owner. And that on TikTok does super well. It was just me recording in front of a camera saying, here's a YouTube video to watch, like holding up my laptop, putting it down, saying, you watch this video, you'll have all the answers, but you need to do this by this date and send this along to small businesses. And I don't have like a predominant following of small businesses. It's mainly like customers. I do have like a
Mhm.
small business community. Um, but I was getting comments on it from people that I've never met before saying like, "Oh my gosh, this saved me," or watching this from Oregon, or the small business owner here, I haven't heard of this. And it's people from all over, and the way that the algorithm can make like your message just target the right people versus
Yep.
any other platform. I posted the same thing on Instagram. It didn't really reach anybody. So I think that's a perfect example of beyond it ties in with business, but if you have a message to send and it's like important, you want to get it out there and it's for a specific cohort, it's easier on TikTok to reach those people and have those touch points. And again, you're not spending money by doing that.
Alex, so can we talk about two things real quick? So first of all, for anybody who hasn't seen you before, I've done a couple of interviews with Alex over the last year or so. But for anybody who hasn't seen you before, can you just talk about the type of products, the type of business you have, the type of products you sell, but then also I want to get into a little bit of the money aspect of this. They've talked about, not for you in particular, but just TikTok in general. Like they've put kind of some figures out there about how much people make off of TikTok, and just I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on those two things. So, like I said, but if you could start by maybe just telling people who haven't seen you before, what are your, like, what do you do? What are your products?
For sure. So back in 2020, I started a clothing brand with my goal was just to spread positivity and kindness, one creation at a time. So lots of t-shirts that are centered around positive sayings, simple reminders like slowing down and to enjoy the little things that are happening around you. And then I also have a collection that's based on locations with lots of different embroidered happy places. Basically, my whole vibe is just to spread positivity everywhere I go. And so I do a lot of sweatshirts, t-shirts, and then accessories. I'm wearing a Blue Horizon Surf Shop sweatshirt right now. I designed this one from
Nice.
scratch last year, so that's a big upgrade. And to your point of income with TikTok, I'm actually going to cite an example that isn't directly related to my business. It's what I did with when I was mentioning the affiliate products. So in December, because I think that this really puts into perspective how much money the average person can just make from TikTok
Mhm.
without doing a lot of extra work. And all of the sudden, this extra couple $100 like helps make ends meet that month. Or okay, now they're able to put this away in their savings, or they're able to get new tires on their car. So I
Mhm.
posted a video of a silly ornament from this Netflix skit comedy show called I Think You Should Leave, and it's by this guy named Tim Robinson, and he's just like he's a funny comedian. I like him. I posted a video of the ornament that I have of him. He's like on a zip line. It is the silliest product ever, and I did it with like a sound from the show in the background, and the video absolutely blew up. And there was a seller on TikTok that was making the ornaments. So I tagged that ornament product. The ornament was, I don't know, $12. I would make 50 cents per ornament that was purchased. And
Wow.
I
Okay.
posted another video of it because people were asking where it was from. So I tagged that thing. I said, my Tim Robinson ornament is here's where you can get the Tim Robinson ornament. I made over $1,000 in commission on that ornament. I that from those two videos that took me 2 minutes to make. That was a silly, this is my haha funny ornament that I have that I didn't really think twice of after I posted it. And then I checked back and I've generated for that company like tens of thousands of dollars in sales for their ornament over something as simple as that video. And I was like, oh my gosh, I this is my reserve. I have this. I can put this towards all of my family's Christmas presents. Like all of the sudden it just was this big weight off my shoulders, like having, and I use TikTok for income for my small business, but it just felt like a whole different pocket of understanding like, oh, this is crazy because you can just tap into this. Like anyone can get on here a stay-at-home mom can get on there and talk about her favorite products that she uses for her kids. And all of a sudden it gets sent out to all of these other moms that are seeing it that think it's a great idea. And then she's making, okay, 50 cents per item, but it just snowballs. And all of a sudden, like that money goes towards rent that month. And I think that that is during the valuations of how much money TikTok brings in, um, and how much it really powers the US economy. I think it's really hard to grasp it because there's so many little niches within the app. Like I would have never, I think it's the silliest thing ever that that
Mhm.
ornament like made me that much money, but that's how it, that's just the nature of the app.
Yeah, no, and it's it's a fascinating thing, and I will play devil's advocate for a second because there are other arguments here. Like obviously, the security situation of people's personal information and whether that information is being siphoned off and sent over to China and what the Chinese are doing with it. Like there's a legitimate concern there with that and what's happening there. I will also say I think there is another angle to this that has, I think there is a competition angle to this. I think that platforms like Facebook and X, I think they are very afraid of TikTok. I think they are very afraid of the competition that TikTok represents to them. And I think that they would be very happy to see, TikTok, go away and they don't, and then they don't have to compete against them. So I think there's a huge aspect to this there. I do think that ultimately this will get resolved because I do think that somebody will step up and will buy TikTok and then it'll just continue as normal and everything will be okay. But I think the point that you're making though, Alex, is a great one, and that is that there's a lot of ways to make money on TikTok, and there's a lot of ways that people do make money on TikTok. Perhaps much more profound than we think it is. And again, and this is exactly why I wanted to have you on, because I think you're making some really good points here about how TikTok works, how young entrepreneurs use it to make money. And I think that hopefully, people will kind of see this video and will resonate with this and will kind of spread the word that, hey, we need to do something to find a way to keep TikTok in the fold here. We need to find a way to make this work because a lot of people are using it and depend on it now, basically to make money. So, and that's an important aspect of this whole thing. It's not just. And the point that I wanted to make was that it's not just people on there making goofy videos and a bunch of young people having a good time, whatever, just sharing silly stuff around and stuff like that. That is certainly going on, but a bigger part of it is the entrepreneurial aspect, the economic aspect of this whole thing about how a lot of young entrepreneurs who are very creative and out there doing a lot of cool things, they're leveraging TikTok to make a living, and that's a very, very important aspect that we all have to take into consideration. And your example was phenomenal there, Alex. Is just one way as to how somebody might use TikTok to make themselves an extra $1,000 a month. So it's just so phenomenal. I thank you for making those points. If we could switch gears here for just a second, I just wanted to kind of get your take on some of the AI stuff that's happening. I think you and I have talked before. I have kind of the AI platform I have kind of dabbled with is like Canva. But I think you have used some other stuff, and like I said, I'm just always curious to get your perspective on like how are you use AI? Has your usage of AI gone up? If you were, and here's another interesting question, if you were to hire people in the future, would they need to have some kind of, what you keep hearing people needing AI skills, but that's not really like it hasn't really been defined as to what exactly that is. But I don't know, just some of your maybe general thoughts on some of those topics.
So I've actually found myself using ChatGPT a lot more these past couple of months, just when I'm running out of ideas, or if I'm batch making content for Pinterest or something, I'll use it to make captions. And it just makes, for me, I don't have any employees, so I am wearing a lot of different hats throughout the week with running the business. And I've just kind of found that I'm almost using it as like an employee, if you will. Like
Yeah.
if I'm don't know if I have the whole brain capacity to sit there and go through each one of these 30 days of of pins that I'm going to post. And I'm like, okay,
Mm.
well, I know if I plug in ChatGPT what I'm planning on sharing and give them essentially a rundown of the vibes that I'm trying to give off through these posts, they will be able to, within seconds, write me out all of the copy that I need to get these posted. Um,
Interesting.
and I've found myself using it for simple things like that. I've also recently upgraded to the like pro plan, the paid plan of ChatGPT, just because I was using it for some more intense data the other week and I needed to upgrade it. Um,
Okay.
but I'm not sure what this future, I don't know how many companies are working on their own AIs behind closed doors where all of a sudden we're going to see this explosion of more. We already are seeing explosions of AI programs, but ones that people are automatically like jumping in onto and everybody needs. Because I feel like with ChatGPT, it's very common, like a very commonly used platform. And I'm waiting
Mhm.
for the day where all of a sudden there's 12 of them. Like there's 12 chat GPTs and they all do a different thing. And each
Yep.
company like wants to have all of these services because all of a sudden like this, I know, and I'm not saying it's like a chat bot, but like this chat GPT can actually help you organize all of your like accounting documents, and then this one can help you do X, Y, and Z, and all of a sudden it'll make being any kind of business owner, but a small business owner, like astronomically easier, because then you're not
Mhm.
feeling like you're stretching yourself too thin, because if you are giving it the right information and you know how to work the product, then that like you're only using a little bit of brain power, and the AI is doing the rest.
Does ChatGPT, they have, what's their image creating? Is it Dolly? Is that
Um,
what they have for image creation?
I believe that that's what it's called.
That's
I could
got,
be
yeah,
wrong.
Dolly. Okay, all right, yeah. Because like I said, I had looked at Dolly a little bit, but then I ended up going with Canva just because I think it was cheaper and it was, and
Mhm.
I don't know. I found Canva very intuitive, very like super easy to use. You could be on there for kind of like 5 or 10 minutes, and you basically got the gist of, okay, here's how to. It
Yeah.
was very, like I said, it was very user friendly, very easy to use, and and it was something that my kids actually use. So I was like, oh, that's fantastic. So they actually knew, like, oh yeah, Dad, Canva can do this and do that and do it. So I was like, okay, fantastic, perfect.
Yeah. My
Um,
first experience with Canva was in college. We would use it for all of our marketing classes for instead of PowerPoint. That was when I
okay.
first started using it. And all of a sudden I was just blown away because you can make the PowerPoint so much more engaging on Canva in a
Mhm.
very, and as you're saying, it's so intuitive, the platform as a whole. And I since then I haven't really gone back to Microsoft products. I use Canva for all of my website graphics and SMS, and email marketing. I'm always making graphics in Canva. It is my favorite. It also has a really good photo editing tool
Yeah.
with mockups.
No, yeah, no, absolutely. And to your point, you're seeing Microsoft has got Copilot, and like X has got Grunk, and Google's got Bard, and I think Amazon's got Alexa, but I think they're working on an even different thing. And I think Adobe has got like
Mm.
their AI, whatever. To your point though, like, yeah, you're seeing that all these platforms are kind of integrating their own AIs in there. And I agree with you. I think we will reach a point where you've got all these AIs doing different things for you, but the good thing is that hopefully it will make us all more efficient. We'll be able to do more, more with less, so hopefully that's where this rolls from there. But okay, well, I unfortunately we're running short on time, Alex, so I do have to wrap up. But hey, look, I really appreciate you so much just coming on and talking about this. I really wanted to cover the whole TikTok, kind of what was going on there. And I just thought that you were absolutely the perfect person to come on and talk about that, just because of what you do every day for a living, and just, your experiences using the platform and everything like that. So I can't thank you enough for just taking a few minutes to come on and chat with us.
Absolutely, Joe. Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, and I hope you will come again real soon.
Absolutely.
Oh, and last thing, if anybody wants to find you on social media, or what's the best way for them to do that?
For sure. You can follow me and find me anywhere. It's Alex Blom Creates. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, all the fun stuff. And that's my website as well.
Perfect. And I will put a link to Alex's website in the description down below for anybody who wants to go check that out. So, but thank you so much, Alex. Again, I appreciate you being on today.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe.
All right, everybody. Well, that was Alex Blomstrom from Alex Blum Creates. Definitely go check out her website. She sells some awesome products, and I hope everybody enjoyed this episode today. Obviously, more information to come on the developments of TikTok and certainly AI as those topics continue to unfold in the months and perhaps throughout the rest of the year. We'll see what happens, but I will wrap up by saying if you like this episode, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, as that always helps the channel. Remember, we are on YouTube, Rumble, and all major podcast platforms. Please be sure to leave your comments down below, as I always enjoy getting back to everybody. And as always, make sure to check out some of the other content on the channel. But thank you very much, and I'll see everybody again real soon.